Hey guys, it's Ronnie Palmieri
And Andy Randa.
from Funnecessary. You know what we're having? You know what we're having right now?
What are we doing?
We're having a comic conversation.
Yeah!
With you, with each other. We're all in on this conversation. One big thing that's happening throughout comics
All the time.
and media right now is the good old-fashioned reboot.
It's happened quite a few times in recent years. It's something that's always been part of the comic book industry. Not too long ago, DC had the New 52, and it was their way of saying our timeline and our characters have gotten too convoluted, and they said we're going to restart everything at issue 1. We're going to de-age a lot of people, make them younger, make them more relatable again. And it was a hard reboot. It was a complete reset of everything. A lot of the characters really needed that. Really good idea. Some of it was executed amazingly. Aquaman was great. Batman was phenomenal. The Justice League book I thought was really good. The bad was you lost a lot of the relationships you loved. So, for instance, the friendship between Green Lantern and Green Arrow, which is considered one of the greatest comic book friendships of all time, they did not know each other. And when they met, they didn't like each other. The relationship between like Clark Kent and Lois Lane, they weren't dating yet. Green Arrow, Black Canary, they hadn't met yet. A lot of your favorite friendships and romances that you wanted to read about just weren't there to be found. The Green Arrow book was terrible. The Teen Titans book was terrible. And so to do the New 52 and then give some of your most popular characters off to unproven talent was a mistake. Now, they salvaged a lot of that. They gave Green Arrow off to Jeff Lemire, and he did amazing work on it. And they did with damage control they could, but a lot of people were they felt so betrayed.
A comparison to that is from their buddies from right across the world over at Marvel. We are working through currently, as if, you're over there at Marvel. Me and the guys at Marvel. We are working through the all-new, all-different Marvel, which is the new imprint of comics that has come off of the heels of the major event, Secret Wars. It did what DC did not do, I believe.
It's a soft reboot.
It is a soft reboot because of the things that I like about it. We're coming off of a lot of interesting characters that were developed right before Secret Wars. Kamala Khan as Ms. Marvel.
She's the best.
Miles Morales has been a huge factor and fan favorite for years in
Also
the Ultimate Universe. Amadeus Cho had just been made the Incredible Hulk. With DC, some of the books needed a refresh. Marvel had been refreshing the books all along. Marvel did a thing that was really cool, that it enabled all of these different worlds to exist in one world. And that's something that Marvel does well. Nothing just happens. Spider-Man just didn't get a black suit. He won the symbiote costume in the original Secret Wars back in like the 70s.
Yeah.
There's a story behind everything, sometimes to a fault that it overwhelms new readers. And what happened afterward was awesome. We got so many great stories. We have Ta-Nehisi Coates. He has an awesome first issue of Black Panther. Tom King, I love the work that he's doing on Vision. But we have Civil War II coming up, and we have Dead No More, and all these things that take that all new, all different Marvel and rehash storylines and rehash characters that we've been through, we've cycled through. This entire reboot has been awesome. It's put a lot of characters in the hands of capable creators, and it's kept a lot of amazing, awesome characters from the old universes. But if you don't continue that along and let those stories play out, what was it all for? So that's the positive and negative from the Marvel side of the room.
I think everyone knows that I am a massive Star Wars fan. Ronnie here is also a Star Wars fan.
I am. Not like this guy, but I am.
Back in the dark times, in the late 80s, early 90s, where there was no new Star Wars movies in sight, the EU was created, and it was full of novels and comic books and video games. And a lot of it was really, really good. There was some great stuff in there. There was also some terrible stuff in there. Darth Vader's magic glove, the clone of Luke with the extra U, Luke, the Emperor's twin Triclops sons. Then the prequel movies came out, and the EU, again, kept giving us more great content. And when Force Awakens got announced, Lucasfilm was like, well, there's really only one thing we can do, and we need to do it in such a way to try and be sympathetic and respectful to the authors who have given us amazing stories, and that was create the Legends canon and the hard canon. So Legends canon is anything from the old EU, and the new canon is everything moving forward. So all the comics, video games, board games, tabletop games are all moving forward, are all canon. Anything that came before was Legends canon. All the new canon stuff has to go through them and get approved. That means everything lines up and fits together really well. And something else that they're doing is they're pulling as much stuff from the old canon as they can and reintroducing it and reimagining it. Dave Filoni, Paulo Hidalgo are grabbing as much from the old canon as possible and sliding it in. I pray every night that we will get Mara Jade and Kyle Katarn and Grand Admiral Thrawn sometime soon in the new canon. I think that's the best way to actually do a hard reboot.
Let's give our grades to our favorite reboots. Starting with DC.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I love the New 52, but there's a few things they could have done better.
I will give Marvel's an 8 out of 10. The reboot itself was done very well, and needs you to stick the landing a little bit more.
For Star Wars, call me biased. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, easily. It is doing the work that you need to do.
For right now, it is a good time to be a Star Wars fan.
It is a good time to be a fan of any
really.
of this stuff that we're talking about.
That's it for us at Funnecessary. And remember, kids,
the greats were great because they paint a lot.
See you next time. Like, comment, subscribe.
You're sprinkling magical like, comment, and subscribe dust.
This is magic dust. That's how I use my keyboard. I type like this.